The Minnesota Wild Podcast is presented exclusively by Acrisure.
Hughes spins down the left wing corner, offensive zone, centered. Hartman scores! He muscled it home, and Hartman has pulled the Wild within one.
And that was a big goal, certainly for Minnesota, after being down 3-0 in this hockey. They battled back with the last two goals to make it a 3-2 game. I'm Tom Reid. Please be joined with Mike Russo of The Athletic. And I guess, first of all, Mike, that isn't quite what the doctor ordered, those first three goals by the opposition.
Yeah, and bad 2-11 and turned 0-0 into a 3-0 game quickly. But I give the Wild credit for coming back. Great play by that second line there with Danilo Urhoff centering. Turnover, Marcus Johansson scores a big goal, and obviously the great play by Quinn Hughes to set up Ryan Hartman. So they got themselves back in the game. They took advantage of a little time there without Cale Makar on the bench. He did come back. He missed the final 17-14 of that period, did come back to the bench there, didn't get a shift, so we'll see if he's okay, but it looked like that Marcus Foligno hit that blew him up just really stung him.
And that was a good hit, too.
Yeah, it was a clean hit.
It was a hard hit, but it was a good hit.
And you know who was lucky on that hit? Marcus. His skate, Makar's skate almost hit him right in the head.
I know. And these guys don't wear those throat protectors. I wish they would, but they do not. They I can't wear a helmet, but you know what? Now they're all wearing helmets, so it can't change in a hurry. But you look at Minnesota, do you think they sat back a little bit in the first period? I didn't get that impression, but at the same time, they're behind by 3 goals.
Yeah, I think that I will say, I do think as much as I think the Wild were excited about just getting back on the ice right away, I think having such a quick change really hurt the team. Like, I don't think they looked prepared for the way that they move up the middle, they can fly through the neutral zone. And I just think that because they didn't have that extra day that they so expected and were suddenly told at midnight the night before that they were flying here on Saturday, I just think it put them in a position where they just still thought they were facing Dallas, right? And you saw there, they were, Colorado was just going right up the gut. First goal, they lose a draw. Hartman gets, loses a guy in the D zone, but it started in the neutral zone where he also lost a guy. And then, the second goal, obviously just a mistake by Jake Middleton. And the third goal, their penalty kill's got to be better. But McKinnon, again, just goes up the gut. Like, it just feels like tomorrow is going to be they are very much in this game. It can somehow try to steal one here. But I think tomorrow is going to be a very big day. I don't think they want to get on the ice, but they might have to. I mean, it's going to be a lot of video work tomorrow, I think, to just try to figure out the differences between playing a very different Colorado team comparatively to Dallas.
Yeah, the thing you brought up there just a few moments ago, the fact is they didn't have the rest. And look at what they have had 8 days between games, and Minnesota had, 72 hours?
Yeah.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah, and it's not even to me, even the rest. It's the fact that they really didn't get to prep. Like, they haven't had a full practice since yesterday was an optional practice that a lot of guys missed. And they were off the day before, and they played the day before that. So I just think that they were a little caught off guard there, that period, from again, a difference between two very different teams.
Yeah, but it's a good thing you got guys like Hartman who will crash that net. He'll stay there, and he got one of the
they're
goals.
Back in this game. I mean, look, they've played Colorado well. 2 huge goals. They easily could have had a third there at the end of the period. So we'll see if Makar is okay to start the second period. He was skating a little bit after the period ended. But look, they're back in this game, but they are definitely right now during the intermission going to have to make some adjustments.
And you can't blame the goaltender. I mean, Jasper looked like he was floundering a little bit out there, but the puck's movement is so fast, and they can shoot the puck and they can fly. And it all starts with McKinnon once again. You look at the acceleration he has from a dead stop that he can take off in a hurry. He's hard to maintain.
And they're so good going horizontal from post to post and just creating empty nets. And it's just, Blankenberg could have also scored a goal there on a similar type of play that the Lehkonen goal happened. So I just think that this is a very different team. There's a reason why Colorado was the best team in the league this year. But you're right, their speed is so different than Dallas. They are an even strength, their stars on even strength. And so we'll see the adjustments that they make here coming out in the second, but they have got to tighten up. So it does look like a lower body injury for Makar looking at the replay, by the way.
Well, we'll find out. See if he comes back on the ice. He sat in the end of the bench when he came out with that little twirl around to see how he felt. So we'll find out soon enough. But I look at the defensive play of this hockey club, too, referring to the Avalanche. They won the William Jennings Award, 197 goals against in the year, which is the best. The last, I think, the winner for this team was Patrick Roy way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
As the whole team won that. So.
Yeah, and, I mean, you look at that L.A. series, and L.A. tried to tighten things up and make things really difficult on Colorado, and for the most part did a good job. But Colorado can play that type of game, too. They could play a patient defensive game. Their blue line, it's an interesting blue line because obviously you have Taves and Makar, who's Canada's top pair at the Olympics. But then you have Malinsky, who looks like he is going to be like the next Cale Makar. He looks like an absolute stud. And, Brent Burns playing up there because Josh Manson isn't out. But their blue line, to me, their second and third pair should be exposable if you're the Wild. And so I do think that if the Wild could try to get in on the forecheck, get pucks deep, and start pounding these guys the way that they did Dallas, I just think the Wild have a chance to be a big part of the series. Obviously, losing Eric Sinek for a while, and I think Jonas Brodin's probably done for the series personally, but I hear a lot worse things on his injury than Eric Sinek. But those are huge issues, obviously, that they're going to have to.
They really are, especially the fact that they're such good defensive players also.
Yep. Although I thought Damon Hunt looked really good that period. So Middleton's got to be better. I mean, he had a tough period, I would say. Yeah,
and you get that, and then your mind starts to wander. What am I going to do now? Now you're trying to be over cautious, and that's when you start to make the mistakes too, because you slow things down just a little bit. You mentioned Brent Burns, 22 years in the league, has never won the cup.
Yeah,
and what a player he is.
I know, and look, I think he's a Hall of Famer. A cup would help that probably cause. I'm actually sitting down with him tomorrow at their practice facility to do big story on him when we go back to Minnesota, because I just find it fascinating. The guy's played more than 1,000 regular season games. The Wild traded him in 2011 at that draft. I'll never forget it. And here we are 15 years later, and for the first time in the playoffs, he's playing the Minnesota Wild. It's a heck of a story. He's won in Norris. He's been an absolute superstar in this league. He looks like he could still play for as long as he wants. He keeps himself in insane shape. He's just a great guy as well.
Yeah, he's close to 1,600 games in the National Hockey League in 22 seasons.
It's nuts. And,
have you ever looked in his backpack that he wears all the time?
No, I've seen the backpack.
He's got a coffee cup in there. He's got some beans. He's got a grinder. He's got all kinds of stuff.
He's got video equipment. He's got probably a couple snakes, everything.
Oh, yeah, he's done safe. So what do you expect to see here for period number 2? I
think that the Wild, usually they make the right moves in the intermission to make adjustments. And I just think that if they can slow this team down that's where it starts, in the neutral zone. It's not really so much in the D zone. They're generating their speed by flying through the neutral zone. So I got to see if they're going to make some tweaks there to slow this team down. If they do, I do think that if the Wild can, cause some turnovers there and turn it the other way and just go to town on these defensemen, I think they have a chance to come back and win this game.
Well, hopefully that'll happen, Mike. Thanks for being with us.
Anytime, Tom.
Michael Russo, our guest here, the Athletic. Kevin, let's go back to you.
Great. Thank you, Michael. And for joining us in the intermission, you get a gift certificate down at Tom Reid's Hockey City Pub. But we're only going to give you half of it. The other half you got to get from me personally. That's Michael Russo, Wild and Avalanche. Game 1 of the second round. We'll give you a recap next. Wild Trail 3-2. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino. The best place to go for all your Minnesota Wild audio needs is the official Minnesota Wild podcast presented by Acrisure. Everything Minnesota Wild related, including highlights, press conferences, players, coaches, general managers, and more. It's available on the official Minnesota Wild podcast presented by Acrisure. It's all just a click away at wild.com/podcast.